Episode 4161, Make Time Before There's No Time.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. It's Friday. Yay, let's do a happy dance because yes, get excited. The weekend has officially arrived and that means you get to breathe. You get some time off. Oh no, maybe you're still getting ready for school to start. Wherever you are, guess what? Make time before there's no time. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. They keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, how's your week gone so far? Mine, a little wild. I don't know. Does it always seem like it's wild with me? I think it is. That's my norm. I've just figured that nothing's ever going to go exactly right, and I'm okay with that. Adaptability and flexibility, that is my middle name, and that's okay. Where are you with your life, your schedule? What's happening right now? I want you just to really think in, because today's Confessions of an Upset Mama, and I know we can get a little bit kind of frazzled with where we are in our life when it comes to our children. And not because we don't love them. And it actually has nothing to do personally with them. It's just that we are juggling a lot as parents, especially as mamas. And so today I want you just to take a deep breath. I want you to think about your new year, the new school year. Okay. Now, I don't care if you have kids at home anymore, or if you have 12 still at home, okay, wherever you are on the spectrum, I want you to think along the school year calendar, okay? Some of us start in August. Here down south, for whatever reason, we start very early in August, like the first full week of August. Our kids have already been in school for 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. Now, the universities and all have not, most of them have started just this week. But the other elementary kiddos and up through high school and all of that, oh yeah, they've been going to school now for 2 weeks. And you're like, how can that be? It just is. What is it for you? Maybe it's not till after Labor Day. Well, wherever you are, I really want you just to think about how your schedule was over the summer. Think about what that felt like. How did you feel? Were you frazzled? Were you frustrated? Were you like, oh, this is awesome. I wish I could have this every single day. And now you're dreading that they're going back to school. Or maybe you're so giddy that they are going back to school that you're like, yes, this is my season. And I get it. A lot of us are ecstatic that our kids are going back to school. But what is it for you? Because during this whole time, right, there's this shift and it happens every year. You can feel it coming. The backpacks come out. The schedules start stacking. The aisles start changing in the stores. The buses start appearing in droves. And before you know it, the days that once stretched long and slow, yep, they're suddenly chopped into 30-minute increments in between drop-offs and deadlines. And if you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All the more reason why you know it matters to make time before there's no time. Because once school starts, the calendars fill up fast. The busyness is going to happen between the homework, the activities, the friends, the screens, all of it, everything, the football, the dance, the cheerleading, the basketball, the volleyball. Meaningful conversations can easily get pushed aside. The noise of the schedule drowns out the quiet moments where trust actually gets built. And the thing is, it doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual. One skipped dinner conversation becomes 2 and 3. One, we'll talk about it later, becomes a habit. And slowly, without anyone meaning for it to happen, distance creeps into the space where closeness used to live. But mama, it doesn't have to be that way. Right now, you have an opportunity. The season hasn't fully taken over yet. Your kids are still in transition, still adjusting, still open. This is your window of opportunity. Not next month, not after things settle down, because if you've been a parent for more than 5 minutes, you know things don't ever settle down. They just don't, right? They just shift into a different kind of busy. Proverbs 22 verse 6 reminds us, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Training doesn't just happen in the big moments, the lectures, the lessons, the corrections. It happens in the ordinary, at the breakfast table, in the car on the way to practice, in that 10 minutes before bed when you sit on the edge of the mattress and simply ask, hey, how are you doing today, bud? Those moments are the foundation. And foundations don't get poured in the middle of a storm. They get laid when the ground is still and the conditions are right. That's where you are right now. The ground is still. Don't waste it. I think about how easy it is to confuse presence with connection. You can be in the same room as your child and still be miles apart. You can drive them to every activity, attend to every game, sign every permission slip, and still miss them. Because connection isn't about logistics. It's about locking eyes, leaning in, and letting your child know that who they are matters more to you than what they do. James chapter 1, verse 19 says, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. When you listen first, really, really listen, without fixing, without redirecting, without glancing at your phone. I know it's hard, but don't do it. You're telling your child something words alone can never say. You're telling them they're worth your full attention. So what does it look like to start today? How do you take the opportunity to strengthen your connection and create a foundation of trust that will serve your family throughout the year? Well, as you know, you've got to make time before there's no time. That is your Kids to Keep It Simple strategy. Make time before there's no time. Because guess what? There's no time like the present. You got to jump on it because busyness is about to take over. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the activities. I loved those days. I'm also glad that they're not my days anymore, and I get to enjoy them now with my grandbabies. They're getting to be of age. Flag football, dance. It's exciting. I'm thrilled. But it's a different type of conversation, and I'm in a different season. So I hope that I can help lead my children. I think I did a halfway decent job. I could always have done things better. But looking back, I'm like, oh, we made it through. Yeah, we had some yelling moments and we had some, I can't believe you did that, and foot in the mouth for mom and all of those things. Yeah, that happens. But one thing I did know is that you cannot add more time. But you can make time before there's no time. So I want you to think about how you've handled this in the past. Regardless of your kids' ages, how did you make sure that they knew they were a priority? So don't sit there and go like, okay, well, Christiane, it's been like 23 years since my kids were in school. Okay, don't do that to yourself because number one, you're going to feel old. Number two, you're going to want to turn it off because you feel old. I don't want you to do that because again, when we are, regardless of our stages, right, of life, wherever we are with our kids, whether they're living with us, still elementary, high school, middle school, college, maybe they're 40, 50 years old, you still have influence, mama. Don't give that power away. And it's not a power where you're trying to trick them. It's a power to empower, to help them, to guide them, to make suggestions. Ultimately, it's their decision. When they're an adult, they get to decide. And I know that's hard. Then that's for another episode. We could be here for like years talking about. But they have to make those decisions. But that doesn't mean that you give up being a mom. You don't. So how did you make sure that they knew they were a priority? Let's just look at this past summer. That maybe was only 2 weeks ago for you. For us, it seems like it was a century ago, but it wasn't. It wasn't that long ago. Maybe you didn't do anything special this summer. Maybe you did. Maybe you went on vacation. Maybe you didn't. It doesn't matter. How did you communicate? How did they know? How did you serve them? How did they know they were a priority? Did you call them every once in a while? Did you send a text? Did you go out for coffee? Because that's their favorite thing to do. Did you go for ice cream? Maybe that's their favorite thing to do. How did you make them really feel and know that they're a priority. Not your phone, not the business, not anything but them. Now I want you to think about this new calendar year. And I want you to have an open mind, because even me, I'm still trying to learn, okay? There's nothing, I am not perfect by any means. And so I can still learn too, right along with you. So what does it look like to make time before there's no time? Number one, start one daily conversation that has nothing to do with school. One daily conversation. Ask your child about their dreams. Ask them about their friendships or what made them laugh today. My grandbabies have started school, and it's adorable. I went to go pick her up one day, and I walked into her classroom, and of course she says, "Grandma!" And she comes running to me. She's so excited. And of course I, greet all of the friends. And I say, "Good afternoon, friends." And they all say hi. And some of them even call me grandma. It's really, really cute. And that's fine. I have no problem with them calling me grandma. I'm happy to be the school grandma. And so, they're saying hi. And a little girl comes up and she wants me to do her hair because her little ponytail came out. So, she had her little rubber band there. And I said, "Oh, I'm happy to do this for you." And the two teachers were doing some other things. So I put her hair up in a little ponytail with, just kind of combing through my fingers. And then another one came up. She wanted to show me what was on her dress. And my little granddaughter comes around and peeks around and she looks up at me and she goes, "Grandma, these are my best friends." And I was like, oh my goodness. At 2.5 years old, she knows. And at that moment, I was fully present with her. And I was picking her up. She knew she had my undivided attention, even though there were multiple children around. And she wanted to make sure that our conversation was like, "These are my best friends, Grandma. These are my bestest friends." And I thought, that's wonderful. Maybe you need to ask the question, what made them laugh today? Get out of the information gathering mode and into the knowing mode. You're not their manager. You're their parent. So start that one daily conversation and make it where it's nothing about school. Now, granted, my granddaughter was like, "Hey, yeah, we're in school." And the kids knew it. They couldn't go home with me or anything like that. But what they knew is there was something special there. And my granddaughter wanted me to know that these are her best friends. And she wanted to share that with me. Maybe your son or daughter wants to share with you that they're making a career change. Maybe they want to share with you that, I don't think I really want to date this guy anymore, Mom. I don't know what it is, but I get this weird feeling. Don't you want to be a part of those conversations? You do it by having the one daily conversation that has nothing to do with school. Number 2, put your phone down for the first and last 10 minutes. You see, the first 10 minutes after you see your child and the last 10 minutes before they go to bed are sacred ground, holy ground. When my kiddos were littles, I was not tempted at all when it came to phones. Why? Because ours were corded. I had to physically be on one. Now, they did have the ones that, they were not remote phones like cell phones, but you could have it. They were handheld phones and you could walk around the house, but you couldn't get very far away from the base. And some of the bigger homes, which we didn't have at that time, we weren't living in like a palace or anything. We could go a couple rooms over. But you see, nowadays, we get distracted. We're carrying everything in the palm of our hand. And we forget that we're also carrying the heart of our children in the palm of our hand. What are you willing to give up? Their heart or your phone? I hope that stung a little bit. It's kind of gut-wrenching when you think about it. Because as much as we think that we're doing the right thing, we are so attached to the daggum phone. Put it down. Walk away. Your presence with them, the first and last 10 minutes of their day, is sacred ground. Guard it. No more scrolling. No more multitasking. Just you, fully present. And then finally, number 3, speak identity over them before the world speaks performance. Before the grades come in and the comparisons start, remind your child who they are, not what they produce. Now, it's hard right now, right? We went through a season, I don't know how many years ago it started. It's been a long time. My kids did. They were somewhat associated in that where everybody gets a trophy. And I was like, yeah, no, they don't. I mean, if that's what the coaches wanted to do, of course. And it was really for my younger two. We had 5 kids, okay? Well, we have 5 kids. But when they were little, right, it was really the last 2 that it really affected. And I was like, okay, if they want to do it. But I made sure that they knew that, well, okay, it's great. Everybody can have a trophy, but there's still only one team that wins the game. Both teams don't win the game. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't learn things. That doesn't mean that something good doesn't come from losing the game. But there's still only one winner. Now, don't send me the hate emails because I know you're going to be like, but Christiane, that's not, nope, don't want to hear it. You got to think about everything that goes on in life. Because, I mean, think about the president of the United States. I'm not saying our current one, so don't get political here, okay? Just hear me out. A lot of times we start on both sides. How many of there? Over 30 or something at one point? I don't know. Maybe there was more, maybe there was less. But when they first start out, are we going to say everybody gets to be the president of the United States? How crazy is that? That's called not real life. Speak identity over them instead of performance. Tell them they're loved. Tell them they're seen. Tell them that they're beautiful. Tell them that they belong. Say it out loud. Say it often. Let it be the voice they hear above every other. Yes, grades are important. And if they are capable and you can raise that ceiling and they can get all A's, great. But for maybe a child of yours, maybe they're only capable of getting B's and maybe high C's. Is there anything wrong with that? No. Are they trying their best? Yes, great. Love them the same. We can't sit here and put our love based on performance, but so many families do it. And honestly, sometimes I don't think we think about it that way. But that's what we are doing. And in the long run, and this happens even in our adult children, you send them off to college. Oh, I've got so many friends right now who their kiddos, I see the posts everywhere on Facebook. Oh, I've got, 2 daughters at this college and one's a senior and one's a freshman. And it's so exciting. I've got another one. I've got my son who's going, to college for the first time. I mean, all of these stories on Facebook, it's splattered. Did you ask your child if it's okay if you post all that information? Did they give you permission? Because they're an adult now. And maybe for some, it's not a big deal. But let me tell you right now, I don't post about my kids very often. If you're like, oh, wait, what? I'm going to go check it out. Yeah, I really don't. Social media and we don't get along. You know where to find me, right here on the podcast, or go to createyournow.com. Because I don't need to have all that stuff. If they want to post it, if they want to sit here and tell the world about their career or tell them what they're doing, that is up to them. It's not up to me. Do I post anything about my grandchildren? Nope. Do I talk about them? Yep. Do I call them by name? Nope. That's by choice. Because not only am I trying to protect them, but they also need to get a say in it. And it's kind of hard when they're minis. When they're littles, they don't understand how this whole thing works. And then what happens is now we're sitting here and we're elevating them to what? Performance. Oh, you only rise up if it's this. And so what happens if you've got a kiddo? Let's say you have 3 kids. You got 2 kiddos that are just like on top of the world. They're doing great. And you have another one that's meh, still a good meh. But, things just haven't come as easy for whatever reason. They've struggled a little bit more. Maybe they don't have the job they really want. Maybe they don't know what they want to be when they grow up. Maybe they haven't even gone to college and they're 30 years old. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But your child might think that there's something wrong with them because what you're doing on social media or how you're talking about them. So speak identity over them before the world speaks performance. Love them where they are, not because of what they do. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to overhaul your entire routine when it comes to the new school year, your new year. You just need to begin one conversation, one moment of undivided attention, one declaration of who your child is in your eyes and in God's. That's enough to start building something the busy season can't tear down. And that's the whole point. This isn't about you having all the answers, but it is saying it's not just about my head, but it's about my child's heart. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. Because a lot of times we want to turn the spotlight on us, but we utilize our kids to do it. Listen carefully. Your children are not your trophies. They are littles. They're human beings. They deserve your respect and your consideration. And I think for the most part, we as mamas are doing our best that we can. But if you're one who kind of strays once in a while, and dads, I'm talking to you too. If you stray once in a while or you think it's all about you, you got another thing coming. Because your kiddos get older, they're going to know the truth. Now you can make a change. And you can be a better parent. And it can start today. Because you see, no matter what you do, the calendar's going to fill up. The noise will come. But if you've already laid the foundation, if your child already knows they can come to you, that you see them, that you're not too busy for what matters most, that you're not going to judge them, you're going to love them unconditionally, then the chaos won't have the power to separate you. It'll just be noise, water under the bridge. And your family will have something deeper than a schedule holding you together. So I really want you to think about it. I know I've done this for years, and there's been sometimes a few seasons that I've had to kind of pull back as our kids got older. You know, we had 5. There's a lot there. And we had our kids involved in a lot. And when they were little, we could do that. But then as they got older, it was like, okay, you need to pick basically 2 main things per season. So usually it was per semester. You know, the first half of the school, the second half of the school. You know, volleyball, let's say, is the first half, but then the second half maybe softball. Okay, that works, not a big deal. They don't contradict, but we couldn't do softball and volleyball and then do, 4 other things and track and band and chorus. I mean, it would get totally crazy. I wanted them to be involved, but I also wanted them to begin to set priorities for themselves, to understand, wait, I can't necessarily do everything, and that's okay. Because I can get better at a few things than try to be the jack of all trades, right? Sometimes we as mamas, we're trying to be the jack of all trades, the mama of everything. But what we really need to know and understand is that when you look at your child, you got to see their heart. You got to see them, not what they're producing for you. They're not your trophy. They're a little human being. And you get this time right now to help mold them so they can grow up and impact the world that they touch in the manner that has been divinely designed by God. So start today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow becomes today. So start today, not when the things slow down, but I want you to go and create your now. Go in peace, be present, be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.